Hi, and welcome to Danny After Dark. If you're new here, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss a notification or a new episode. Tonight is my CrimeCon 2026 recap show. I am really excited to talk about it with you guys. I had a really great time at CrimeCon this year and made it also a little bit of an extended vacation. So yeah, I'm excited to catch you guys all up on that. It's a lot to talk about. And yeah, so Mr. Beckham, who was supposed to go to CrimeCon this year, the self-proclaimed king of CrimeCon, nowhere to be found, nowhere to be found. Granted, I knew he wasn't coming, but still, he had a lot to say going off of last year, and I just thought it was kind of funny that he didn't make it this year. So just had to take in that little shot at him, but other than that, I hope everybody is doing well this evening. It is Friday Eve, thank goodness. And yeah, let's get into it. My apologies for being a few minutes late. The cats were a little bit extra tonight in regards to their feeding time, so it took a bit longer. It was a process. It was a process. With 6 cats, it's a process, but that's it. Only 7 minutes late progress. Thank you. You know, Beckham is a bad influence. I don't know what to say. I always try to start on time, and other than that, it doesn't happen. So I do have pictures to show you guys. So what I'm going to do for tonight's show is do kind of like a verbal recap of everything. And then at the very end, show pictures. I will be fully honest, they are in no particular order. I was thinking of putting them in folders and making them make sense each day, but then life gets busy, so that didn't happen. So there'll be a big photo dump at the end. So if anybody at that point is just like, I don't need to see pictures, I've already seen them on Instagram, because they've already been posted on Instagram or on Facebook. If you already seen them and you don't care for the pictures, then at that point, yeah, bound to enjoy the rest of your evening. But other than that, let's get into the recap. So as everybody is aware, because I've been talking about this for months and months and months and months. So CrimeCon this year was in Las Vegas. So I made sure, I love Vegas. I've been several times before, most recently last year. But before that, I hadn't been, oh gosh, since I want to say like 2016. So it had been a while. And last year when I went, it was part of a family vacation where it was like a bunch of places we were hitting up. So when we went to Vegas, it was only like 2 days, and it was very, organized family stuff, which I mean, makes sense on a family vacation. But I'm an independent person and I love to walk around the strip. I just enjoy that. So I wasn't able to do that as much last year. So I made sure to do that this year. So the convention itself, for those who aren't aware, it is Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Thursday night is a kickoff party, which some people go to, some people don't. I personally love to go to the kickoff parties every year. So I made sure to do that. But before, I actually flew in on Wednesday. So I left super, super early on Wednesday morning. I want to say I was up at like 3 a.m. for my flight. It was just like, it was so crazy. But then I got to Vegas super early and was able to check in early. unpack and actually enjoy the afternoon and enjoy the evening and just have some relaxing walk around Vegas time, which is what I did and what I enjoyed. So I got in on Wednesday. Nothing too crazy to really recap. Some of my CrimeCon podcast girlfriends did come in on Wednesday as well. So that was really cool. I like literally ran into them in the hotel lobby, and I ran into friend Cheryl McCollum in the lobby as well. So it was good to see some people early as well that kind of had the same thing in mind. So that was kind of Wednesday. It was pretty low key. So Thursday, the kickoff party was at night. I, in the daytime, chose to just get kind of chill, walk around, and also do some stuff. So full disclosure, I no longer watch TV like at all. It was one of the things I gave up in the pandemic, which I feel like when most people were stuck inside, they watch TV, where I was just like, get rid of it. And just like, now I just crush books all the time. But before that, I'll just wrap myself out. I loved every single TV show on Bravo. Like, I think back to the amount of times of every single show I watched, and I'm like, what a waste. What a waste of time. But with that being said, and point being, there is a restaurant there right across from where we were for CrimeCon, which was Caesars. So CrimeCon was at the Caesars Convention Center. I stayed at Caesars as well, just to make it super easy. And literally across the street, I want to say it was in Flamingo, was Pinky's Restaurant, which is under Lisa Vanderpump from Vanderpump Rules on Bravo and Real Housewives Beverly Hills. And I know some of you guys are like, Danny, what the hell? You watched that trash? Yes, I did watch that trash. But I really wanted to try the restaurant. So that's what I did. On Thursday afternoon, I was just like, I'm going to head on over by myself and just grab some food and enjoy the atmosphere. And I did. And I absolutely loved it. Very expensive, but like, it's Lisa Vanderpump. And now she has Vanderpump Hotel, which that I did not know. I can't remember if it was up and running last year when I visited or not. I did make sure to walk through it, and it is very Lisa Vanderpump-like. So if anybody is a fan of Bravo and those shows, it was cool. I'll admit it was cool, even though I have not watched that show in years, because the pandemic was 2020. It's 2026 now. But it was still fun to go there. I'm keeping an eye on the chat as you guys come in. Renee, you like her. I would not figure you to watch that stuff. I don't know. I was wrong. Was a lot different this time since you've been to a few things. 5 minutes here. Hey, Richard, good to see you. To answer your question, Renee, it wasn't terribly different than when I went last year. Again, I was only there last year, for 2 days. Last time I went before that, I want to say was 2016. It was like a really big friend trip. There was a lot more things that the Strip offered this time around versus 2016, to answer your question. The Link Hotel was new compared to when I went years ago. That whole, there's a whole big shopping and restaurant, tons of bar area right outside that was not there before. That was really cool. I walked around there a lot. That was a lot of fun to hang out there. Let me see. In regards to some of what I would consider the staple hotels, if you will, a lot of them were gone this time around versus when I went in 2016. The Mirage wasn't there anymore. Oh my gosh, there's another one. Riviera is not there anymore, but they're building so many more. It's definitely looks like it's catering to more of a younger crowd, I would say. But I really like it. I just love it. Each hotel or place you go to has a totally different vibe, and I just feel like it's a whole bunch of trips in one, if you will. If that answers your question. What can I say? It was either crash at Capone's or stay at Caesars, which was like right where the convention was, and choices had to be made. And okay, fun fact, I did not realize when I booked. So I got there and checked in and got the hotel like area I was in and the room I was in. And I walked in, I was like, wow, this is a big room. And the bathroom was huge, huge, way more than I needed. And the view was like right on the strip. It overlooked Paris. It was like phenomenal. I'm like, wow, this is a pretty freaking cool room. Kind of lucky I got that. Didn't think much about it. And then like my other podcast friends, like hearing them like check in and like where they were at, I guess from what the staff told them that the place I was in was like I think the luxury area. I don't know. I did not hear that from the staff directly. That's just what some of my podcast friends said. But I was like, well, damn, that would make sense because my place was hooked up. It was hooked up, which was very cool, which made for a really fun trip. So anyway, yes, that was Thursday afternoon. Again, hung out with my friends because again, several of them were there. A lot more were flying in on Thursday to come to the kickoff party. Some of them came on Friday, like the day of CrimeCon, but for the most part, the majority of my friends were flying in on Thursday afternoon, kind of early Thursday evening. So it was kind of like connecting with them. So the kickoff party, it was 90s theme. So my podcast group of girlfriends that I'll have tons of pictures of and I'll show you guys later. They we were talking about like a theme and they wanted to do Sandlot. I was a kid in the 90s. Never heard of Sandlot in my life. Never heard of it. Looked it up. No freaking clue. So I'm like, you know what? Y'all do you. I'm going to go rogue because I don't know this movie. So I went rogue. And I did post some stuff on Instagram like that night. And I did post a little video of me on YouTube. And I'm sure a lot of you have seen it. I'm just in like a basic 90s attire outfit. And I decided to wear like, I think it was like green lightning bolt 90s earrings. And then like I wore pigtails, which I've not worn pigtails in forever. Y'all, the DMs from the pigtails. Yeah, I have not had people slide in my DMs in quite a bit. Yeah, y'all, people like the pigtails. It was very interesting. I woke up that next morning to the DM. I was like, okay, here we go. But yeah, no, I was not trying to, if anybody saw that video, I was just trying to be cute, 90s, relive stuff. Like it was a fun vibe. It was in no means trying to be a sexy vibe. And somehow it got construed as that, which it is what it is. I don't know. But that was kind of funny to wake up the next morning and I was like, oh, okay. But anyway, I had a blast at the kickoff party. A lot of my podcast friends were there. Again, I'll show you guys some pictures later. And they are all dressed up as like different characters from Sandlot. Couldn't even name one. Could not even name one, but it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. The Cheryl McCollum was one of the, I don't know if announcers is the right word, but she would go on stage and kind of introduce some of the guests that were there. And that was pretty cool. I got to see Nancy Grace there, get a picture with her. Paul Holes was there. Matt Murphy was there. It's kind of like, I'm just trying to think of some of the bigger named people that, you know, people kind of want to get their picture and talk to. So I was able to get pictures and talk with them, which was pretty cool. There was a whole photography section where you could sit in like a 90s themed bedroom, if you will. So I got to do that. I sat in there, got a picture. Me and Kylie from Primetime Crime got a picture there together, which is pretty cool. And it's just so interesting to think like that's my childhood, but that's like, I mean, you know, mid 80s, early 90s childhood. So I could kind of say I kind of crossed both decades, but I'm like, that's my childhood. And that's like considered vintage now, which is just kind of sad. But it was really fun because there was like the blow up plastic furniture, which is just like, really? Those things would pop in a second. But somehow they made it the night of crime. I don't know how they did that, but it was cool. And there was a whole like kind of like arcade section if people wanted to play vintage games. There was a lot of different things you could do there. The DJ, all of my podcast friends that were there will attest. I had a lot to say about the DJ. Breathe in, breathe out. Did they play some 90s songs? Yes, some 90s songs were played. But so many of the songs, I'm like, wait, that's 80s. No, wait, that was 70s. That's ABBA. And then I'm like, wait a minute, that song came out last year. So I had such an issue. I had such an issue with like non-90s songs being played. Like, I was just like, we'd be chatting with friends and I'm just like, oh my God, in that song. Like, it would make me so angry, which I think says more about me than the night, but that's okay. A 90s party should have all 90s music, but I digress. Let's see from my notes. So yeah, me and my friends went to the kickoff party for several hours. And then it was kind of like, all right, most people traveled in that day. My body was still getting used to the time zone change because being in Massachusetts, Vegas is 3 hours behind. So getting up super early, fantastic. But by nighttime, it's like, oh my God, it's like 10 at night, but my body thinks it's like 1 a.m. So it's like, everybody was like, all right, we're kind of tired, so let's kind of pack it in. And I was completely, yes, agree. Get to my hotel room, have full intention of going to bed, and it's almost like I got a second wind. And I'm like, no. So flash forward to, I'm getting coffee. It's 11:30 at night, and I proceed to walk the strip for 3 hours by myself. And had such a wonderful time. Such a wonderful time. I went to the top of the Eiffel Tower there at Paris right before they closed. So that was really cool. I had done that years before, but I didn't get to fully experience it because I got scared and didn't leave the elevator. And that's a story in itself. Not my fault. Story in itself for another time. But it was so cool because it was at the very, very end of the night. I think we were the last ones up. So that was cool. Got to see the water show at Bellagio at that time of night. It was just absolutely stunning. And again, I'm just doing it by myself. So I'm just doing it at my own pace and like just taking everything in. And then, yeah, proceeded to just like walk the strip for like 3 hours. I can't remember how far I made it. I think I went past New York from Caesar. It was just like going in and out of places. And I'm like, oh, this is fun. Let me try here. Let me try. And just, yeah, I had an absolute blast. And it was on that walk where I discovered kitty glitter. I'm like, oh my God, there's a kitty glitter slot machine. There was one. So let me back up. I noticed one in Caesar's, but I didn't play it yet. But I was all excited. I know there's one at Cosmopolitan because I sought that down last year and made it a point to find it. But yeah, Caesar's has multiple kitty glitter slot machines. So yeah, I just literally walked around and had an absolute blast. That's actually kind of one of my fun little recaps in my mind from the trip. Kylie in the chat, our generation now being a party theme is crazy. Girl, I know. So this is Kylie, Primetime Crime. If you are not subscribed to her podcast, please do so. I'm not just saying that because she's my friend. It's actually a really good podcast. And a little birdie told me, aka her, that I believe tonight is her CrimeCon recap podcast drop episode show. So tune into that. I know I will be. Well, girl, to be perfectly honest, it'll be late when I finish this. I will listen to it on my drive into work tomorrow. And I'm all excited. Does she start her podcast on time? Kylie is I thought I was an organized person until I met her. So yes, James, if you subscribe to her podcast, she is very punctual. You will appreciate her punctuality. Yeah, Renee, it's total networking at CrimeCon and just getting to meet a variety of people, which I'll get to. You're jumping ahead. But yes, you are absolutely right. So that was my Thursday night. So Friday is when CrimeCon starts. It does not start until noon on Friday. That gives the vendors, podcasters, content creators, whatnot, time to set up their booths. They get the option to do it on Thursday, or they can do it early Friday morning. In addition, for badge holders, you can pick up your badges. For those who don't know, who haven't attended CrimeCon, you can pick it up on Friday morning, I believe starting at 9 or the day before on Thursday. Yeah, I'm like a get it early. So I was there on Thursday and I got mine. So that come Friday, I could just breeze right into the convention center. So that's what I did. And Friday, when I first walked in, I think the first person I saw was Annie Elise. Like when I got rid up the escalator, I'm like, oh, there's Annie Elise. So I got to meet her. I've met her before previous crime cons, but always good to see her. Got a photo with her. Oh my God, that was so Boston. Dr. Priya. I have fangirled over Dr. Priya. Oh my God, that's so Boston. I'm so sorry. That's so funny. Fangirled over Dr. Priya for so long. She is on Cheryl McComb's podcast, Zone 7, all the time, as well as guest stars on other podcasts. I saw her last year at CrimeCon, and I wanted to say hi. And I'm not shy. For those who know me, like, I'm not shy. I will just go up to anybody and say anything. It's a blessing. It's a curse. I was so like, oh my God, I can't go up to Dr. Priya. That was last year at CrimeCon. And like, I saw her several times. And each time I'm like, I'm going to go up and introduce myself and say hi. And I just couldn't. And then this year I saw her and I'm like, Danny, just do it. And she had her dog with her. She had her Chihuahua, which I do have a picture with her and her Chihuahua. So I went up to her and I introduced myself. And she knew who I was, which I was like, wait, what? And I got to talk to her. Like, we got to chat for quite a bit. And each day, Saturday, Sunday, I got to see her as well, chat with her a bit more. And yeah, oh my gosh, I mentioned her. I was like, I could not go up to you last year. And I kicked myself for not doing that. And she was just like, why did you not? Like, that type of thing. She is so cool. She is so cool. She is brilliant. Y'all, if you are not familiar with her, like, follow what she does. Like, go to Zone 7 podcast, Cheryl McCombs, and listen to when Dr. Priya is on. It's like amazing. Amazing. She's amazing. I can't say enough good things about her. So I was just so excited to meet her and chat with her. And she's so nice. So nice. And she's a pet person. Love her dog. Absolutely love her dog. Right, Kylie? Oh my gosh. She's so cool. And she had little bow ties for her dog each day, like a different one with like a CrimeCon theme, which I was like, oh, love it. Love it. So Friday, so I will be perfectly honest. I didn't go to a single panel on Friday. I wasn't interested in any of them, which, not to say CrimeCon didn't give a lot of great options. They were all great options. I think this year I was very torn between wanting to be at Podcast Creator Row and see my friends, and also kind of decide between, okay, well, which panels do I want to go to? So there were none on Friday that were like, Danny, you have to go to these, which is so funny because previous CrimeCon years, I look at the schedule, I'm like, damn it, I want to be at both of these at the same time. And it's like, decisions have to be made. And full disclosure, just up front, I only went to 4 panels the entire CrimeCon weekend, which, wow. But it's so funny because I'm just like, I was still busy nonstop. So like, I was busy doing stuff, and I'll tell you guys about those panels on their respective days that I went to that. But Friday, I did not go to any of the panels. So I got to, of course, see all of my podcast girlfriends in Creator Row on Friday. There was most of them that, again, came on Thursday for kickoff party. And then the remaining of them either came late Thursday night and didn't go to the kickoff party or came on Friday. So by Friday, all of my girls were there. On Friday as well, I got to meet in person. So Anthony DiMaria, y'all know him, y'all love him. He has been on this show 3 times with his co-author, Marshall Terrell. For those who maybe are tuning into this and you are not familiar, definitely go back and check those 3 interview episodes out. So Anthony is the nephew of Jay Sebring, and Anthony released a documentary, Jay Sebring Cutting to the Truth, and then most recently a book that he co-authored. And I cannot say enough amazing things about that book. And Anthony was going to be at CrimeCon. I told him about CrimeCon, and I mean, it's like the biggest of the true crime conventions, right? There are a lot of kind of more smaller, intimate ones, like Beyond the Crime, things like that, where it's maybe several hundred, just under 1,000 people, where CrimeCon is like 7,000. I haven't heard the final numbers for this year, but from what I heard, it was about last year's size, like 7,000 people. So it's a lot of people. And Anthony was going to be here at CrimeCon with his book, Jay Sebring Cutting to the Truth. So I definitely wanted to, for weeks, kind of communicating in regards to like, okay, here's what to expect. Because somebody like him going to CrimeCon is very different than like somebody like me going to CrimeCon, which makes sense. So he was going to be at a booth with his book, Jay Sebring Cutting to the Truth. And I was really, really excited for him to be able to get the word out about this book for people who might not know about it, and especially to get word out about, most importantly, Jay and Jay Sebring's story, because that really has not been told. And it's over 50 years, so it's about fucking time that it's told. And it's about time that it's told correctly. So in what better place to do that than people who are interested in true crime for whatever reason that they're interested in it, and again, set the record straight. So I was looking forward to meeting Anthony in person. And also I wanted to make sure, and I had messaged with him before, that I have a ton of people that I want you to meet. A lot of podcast friends, not just from my podcast group of girlfriends, but just other podcast friends, other, victim family members that I thought like people like Cheryl McCollum, anybody that I'm like, I want to link you up with. I want to do that. Like as much help that I can be in any capacity that I can for Anthony to pass on information about Jay's story, all of that. Anything I could do, that was also one of my big focuses of that weekend. And then is on the flip side, telling a lot of my podcast friends, like, hey, you guys have to meet my friend Anthony. Like, here's a bit about why he's here and, his story and Jay's story. And it's just one of those things where everybody, when you say like, the Manson murders, it's like, everybody's like, oh yeah. But then when you kind of break down to, well, okay, let's get into the individual victims. Things get, I hate to say lost in translation, but that has never been the focus. And especially at this point in time right now, and Kylie, if you're still in the chat, I'm sure you can attest that true crime, it's really shifting to be more victim centered and more victim focused, which about damn time. It's about damn time. There's still a lot more work that needs to be done for that, but it's definitely making that shift. So I was very hopeful and confident for Anthony in regards to getting word out about Jay. And if I'm spending so much time on this right now, it's because that was definitely one of the things that was super important to me for this CrimeCon weekend. And also because, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I've noticed the shift even from going to my first CrimeCon several years ago. It's like each year it's becoming more and more and more and more, which is absolutely amazing in the right way. True crime, if you will, needs to be told. But yeah, I'm spending so much time on this because it was just really important to me for that weekend to connect him with as many people as I could, but then also to spend time and get to know him too. Talked so much about Jay and Jay's story, which is again the central point in the focus. But I'm also like, I kind of went into that weekend like, I really don't know much about Anthony, and I want to get to know Anthony. So I got to know him that weekend, which was pretty cool. And I would like to think he would describe me as a delight, absolutely fun to hang out with, so on and so forth. I don't know, but it was honestly like an honor and a privilege to be able to hang out with him and get to know him, and then be able to kind of see him. And I actually did get to see him at his booth, like engage with people who were attending CrimeCon and literally talk with them about Jay and Jay's story. It was just like times when I was walking around and got to like, not gonna lie, a lot of walking in Vegas. So times when there was an empty chair by his booth, like the booth he was at, I'm like, I just need to sit for like 5 minutes and, do so and catch up with stuff on my phone, or a pain in the, he probably wouldn't argue that. I'm not gonna lie. But that's probably because Paul is like poisoned his mind. That's my guess. Hi, Rachel. I'm sure Rachel's behind this versus Heather, but either way, Rachel and Heather from like Mother Like Murder. Hey, girl. Hi, friends. Happy to see you at CrimeCon and here to see your face. Love you. Oh my gosh. Love them. Again, another amazing podcast, like Mother Like Murder. My friends Rachel and Heather who do that. Amazing, amazing women. So yeah, it was very interesting to kind of sit back and see Anthony talk about, his book and Jay, and, as much as you can capture people as they're kind of walking by. And yeah, from what I recall, he sold out of all of his books, and he was able to sign some as well for people who were attending. But CrimeCon can be, again, I can't say this from experience, but from, friends that I've made at CrimeCon who are there from the victim side of things, CrimeCon, it's a lot. It's a lot of emotions. It's hard. It is hard. It is heavy. It is draining. On the one hand, you're getting word out to people about your loved one. But on the other hand, every single person that you connect with and you chat with, you're constantly retelling that story. And it's usually one of the most horrific ones of your life. So it's tough. And I knew that, again, not from experience, but I wanted to also make sure that, because if here I'm saying, Anthony, CrimeCon is, a great platform for this. I don't want to just be like, okay, here you go. Like, no, if it's tough, it's, again, anything I could do to be of help, I wanted to make sure, if that makes sense. So yeah, that was Friday. And again, it was mostly just going around, connecting, seeing friends, different content creators that I've gotten to know, and meeting ones that I really haven't met with. That was what I did mostly on Friday. So that was Friday day of CrimeCon. Friday evening was the Sparkle dinner, which was, and if you're saying, Danny, what the hell is that? So the podcast group of girlfriends that I have that we all went to this year, CrimeCon, we kind of threw out there on Friday night, anybody who's available, let's go to dinner. And of course, we're in Vegas, let's make it a theme. So it was sparkle, it was sequins, it was all of that fun stuff. So we all got dressed up and went out. And that was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. And I have pictures to show you guys if you haven't seen them on my Instagram yet. We, after several of us broke off and went to a different location of Lisa Vanderpump's restaurant. We went to the one in Caesars. So we went there, and I think some people got some drinks, some appetizers. And yeah, that was that. And then walking back from there, several of us ran into Paul Holes. He was just at one of the hotel bars. So like, we're all like in our sparkle outfits, and there's Paul Holes, and we stopped to talk to him, he's so nice and just a really cool guy to talk to. I think I was just surprised how chill he was, and surprised in the best way. And yeah, that was Friday night. I will say I did not walk the strip that night. Some of my podcast girlfriends, I won't name names, were very unhappy with me for doing that the night before and not telling any of them. They were like, what were like, yes, it's Vegas and there are people out, but like, what if something happened to you, so on and so forth. And I'm just like, I didn't want to wake everybody up and be like, hey, I'm doing this. So I just went and did it, which is kind of how I run life anyway. I just do things. But I could see their perspective. So I assured them I would not do that on Friday night. And I did not. But to be fair, going into Saturday, like Saturday's CrimeCon's like early morning, 9 a.m. to like, was it like 6:30? Or maybe later if you went to like the Clue Awards and stuff on Saturday night. It's a long day. So it's kind of like get your rest on Friday. So thankful to know you in this community. And I love Sparkle Night. Love you. And yes, Sparkle Night was fun. I'll show pictures later. I know. Beckham could have been there. Hi, Karen Diamond. Hello. Yes, I had an awesome time. You're just a little late in regards to me talking about Friday, but all good. Lots of stuff to continue. So on Friday, I also want to say I was able to meet and shout out to amazing men. The world needs more of them. And what I mean by that is Courtney, my friend Courtney. So her podcast, I'm just trying to find, I want to make sure, did I put the names of hubbies in here? I don't think I did, to protect the innocent. No, but Courtney from Forensic Tales podcast, her husband came with her to CrimeCon because she had a booth there. So I got to meet him. Very, very nice. And then also I got to meet Gina and Amber's husband from Weird True Crime podcast. And Gina and Amber's husband, I think I spoke to a bit more at CrimeCon just throughout the weekend. And they kind of tagged along to a bunch of the events that we did. So amazing, all three amazing spouses to their podcast wives, but also just amazing men in general. And they were, all of them were just so, okay. Thank you. I wasn't sure. Okay. Kylie's doxing them, so then it's fine. Tony, Patrick, and Corey, all amazing men, all very, not only there to support their wives, but just like helpful in general. Like, hey, do you need anything or whatnot? Like just accommodating for all of us girls, which is just like amazing. And I will say there was one time I walked by Amber and Gina's booth, Weird True Crime podcast, and Amber and Gina, I think they were grabbing lunch or something like that. So it was just their husbands. I'm like, I want to see how they describe the podcast when their girls aren't there. And they were so good. And so like people loved them. And I'm like, yeah, that's amazing. That is amazing. I called them out of my pod in a good way, of course. I mean, yeah, there's no way to talk bad of them, honestly. Like, we'd be lying if we did. But they were so amazing and so kind and so friendly and just like one of us. They were one of us for the weekend. And I mean that in the best way possible. So that was really cool being able to meet them and kind of get to know them and yeah, all that fun stuff. So that was, I think that kind of ends Friday. So Saturday, again, all of the main day of CrimeCon. It starts very early, goes very late. So in regards to let me pull up my list. I did do a meet and greet that day. So I went to the one And this was one that I was like, I will stand in line way before to do this meet and greet. I really, really wanted to, specifically to meet Eva LaRue. So I grew up watching her on All My Children, and that girl does not age. Like, she looks exactly the same now as she did back then. I'm just like, oh my gosh, I've aged and grown up quite a bit, and you are exactly the same. Then I also watched her on CSI Miami. So she was at CrimeCon with a group of other women. They did a panel. I was not able to go to the panel, but I did want to do the meet and greet. So I purposely went early to do that meet and greet, and I was able to meet her in the group of women that she was with. So that was one of the things I did on Saturday. The other women that she was with was, and my apologies again if I butcher any names, Susan Zorinsky, Eva Pilgrim, Athena Klingerman, and Amber Rasmussen. Sorry, totally butchered that. I didn't know you were either, Kylie, until I saw your photos. I think I was like one of the first 5 people in line or something. Like, I went super early to do that meet and greet because I didn't know how long it would be. And I really, like, going into CrimeCon weekend, I was like, I really want to meet Eva LaRue. So I was able to do that. In regards to panels, I went to 2 of them on Saturday. One of them was the Scott Peterson, the New Evidence panel. That was Mark Garagos, as well as Annette Tusby and Chris Pixley. That one was, that was one where I'm like, if Beckham came, like, this would be so up his alley. I really enjoyed it. Mark Garagos is such an amazing speaker. In regards to what the panel was about, it was about, again, kind of the new evidence, if you will, and what the LA Innocence Project is trying to get tested, because they are trying to prove that Scott Peterson, again, is innocent. There were other avenues of things that were not tested, not pursued by the state, and all of that. It was a great panel. It was a great panel. Do I personally think Scott Peterson is innocent? I do not, but that's just my opinion. To each their own. And yeah, I actually, afterwards, I'll show you guys a picture, but afterwards I was walking around and I saw Mark Garagos. I'm like, oh my God, he's like right there. So I very humbly introduced myself and asked if I could get a photo with him. And he was like, yeah, absolutely. Very nice. And I mentioned I went to his panel. I'm like, that was a really good panel, because it was. And he was like, can I ask you something? I'm like, okay. And he's like, do you think Scott Peterson is innocent or guilty? I'm like, personally, I think he's guilty. But with that being said, are there things that back then should have been tested that weren't? Yes. And he like kind of extended his hand and was like, all right, good day. And just walked off. And I was like, well, that was the most polite go fuck yourself I think I've ever experienced. But he was very nice. Besides that, he was very nice. And again, excellent panel. But that's that. I am so sick of, I know, Renee, you and most people. But yeah, y'all, I know. But I wanted to go to the panel. And that is a case where actually me and Beckham very much differ. So, James, I don't want to get kicked. I wouldn't want to get kicked out of CrimeCon. And I get that. And like, I felt I was not one of those disrespectful, like, fuck him, of course Scott Peterson is guilty. Like, no, I was very, very respectful. Very respectful. But he was too. Hey, PJ Wolf, good to see you. I mean, you know, Paul, he doesn't say things very politely at all. Yeah, pretty much. But I've said the same to him and Beckham, so it's kind of fair game, I guess. So that was Saturday. We could go down a whole Scott Peterson rabbit hole. But anyway, I also went, okay, so this was one of hands down, one of the best panels at CrimeCon I've ever been to since I've been attending CrimeCon. And that was the one with the Epstein survivors. So Jenna Lisa, Courtney Wild, Haley Rebson, and I'm sure I'm mispronouncing names, and my apologies. Yes, y'all could go all day about the Scott Peterson thing, but their panel, oh my gosh, these women were absolutely, I was just in awe the whole time. The strength of these women, as well as, oh, Kylie, you were there too? Yeah, it was really, really good. To hear their individual stories of what led them and how they got basically interwoven into Epstein's life and in everything that came as a result of that. And then the aftermath of like dealing with that trauma that you experience. To hear each of their stories, it was heartbreaking. Like my emotions kept going between like being absolutely heartbroken for them and then like in awe of the strength that they have now at the same time. So I just kept going between those two emotions. And what was really the thing with CrimeCon and the panels is there's these large screens at the side. So pictures or PowerPoint presentations or whatnot, video clips can be put up at that for everybody to see. And keep in mind, there are thousands of people at each of these panels. So when I say panel, depending on the type of convention you go to, the smaller true crime conventions can be, maybe like 100 or more people, but a couple hundred. With CrimeCon, each of these panels can have thousands of people in them. And there were thousands of people in this one. And it was on the screen when each of the victims spoke were pictures of them at the age at the time that they were kind of, again, in Jeffrey's world. And it was just like, oh my God, they look so young. Like, yes, they're young, but it's like you think back to like when you yourself, whether you're male or female, you're say 12, 13, 14 years old. You think, I'll just speak for myself. I thought makeup, clothes, whatnot, you think you look older than you are. And sometimes people do look older than they are. So you see like, I'm just like, these girls looked like I did when I was that age. But like, when you like really step back, you're like, but I see they're a child. Like they're just a child at the end of the day. Thinking, we dress this way, we wear this makeup, we, wear these types of clothes, we look cool, we look older, we all do that. But like looking at those photos, I'm like, oh my God, like it's a child. And those are the images of like them at that age at that time. And it was just like, that's like what really sticks with me from that. I was like, wow, they were so young. And hearing again the aftermath of what they went through after getting away from Epstein, but it doesn't stop there. Their stories do not stop there. As we know, there's this whole, release the files and all of that, and the movements in what they've been doing, trying to get with other advocates, with a lot of other advocates and people who have been through similar experiences with Epstein. And these women are not being quiet and they are not being silent. And I cannot respect them anymore. It's just what they're doing is incredible. And I forget, Kylie, if you remember, please say in the chat, but I can't remember which of the three ladies it was, but one of them had said, like, each time they speak, they still are harassed. They still get, people driving by and, but as what they said, like people trying to silence them. And they're like, we do these speeches and there's no guarantee we'll be alive tomorrow because there are still people that want to keep them silent. Again, they were saying that it's not just like the US will fall, like the world will fall. There are so many people linked to, and again, this is all stuff that I'm sure as I'm saying, everybody's like, well, yeah, we know, Danny, we know. But we're on the outside of this, right? These three women who were doing this panel, they were a part of this. Like they were in it in the worst way. So they really know like the depravity and the length in the amount of powerful people, not just from the US, but other countries that were intertwined with this. And again, I'm blanking on which one it was that said during the panel, like burn it down, let the world burn down type of thing. I think that's who it was. I wasn't 100% certain. It was, again, like I was just taking everything in from that panel in just absolute awe. Like every word they said, I was like really just taking it in. It was, again, one of the best panels I've ever been at. Not just this CrimeCon, but any CrimeCon I've ever been to. It was one of the best. We'll show the Jussie pics. I hear politicians use their stories, weapons against each other. They don't care about the victims. And that's where, yes, Renee, you're absolutely right. And I feel like that's where places like CrimeCon or like other really well-intentioned true crime conventions give that platform for people. I mean, there are a lot of other places that do give that platform. I'm just thinking more so like the kind of circles that I would see them at, if you will. So that was on Saturday. So there was just those two panels I went to on Saturday. I did run into Shelly on Saturday. So yeah, Beckham's girl, Shelly. I ran into her on Saturday with her daughter. Yeah, we just like, I was just in one of the main hallways walking and I hear Danny and yeah, Shelly was there. So I got to meet her daughter. From what I gather, like I ran into her a few times at CrimeCon, but for the most part, like she was off doing her thing. I was off doing my thing. I can't remember offhand, but I know on Saturday there was like a panel that she wanted to go to. I can't remember which one it was. But yeah, it was really cool. And from what Beckham was saying, that she had a really great time. And that's awesome, because I know last year at CrimeCon, she was there and she was, helping out. And there was another booth that she was mostly helping out, like for the most part when she was there, like, which was a great help to them. So she didn't get to kind of experience what CrimeCon has to offer in that way, but she got to do that this year, which was really cool. I know she connected again with Dr. Maggie. We love Dr. Maggie, like love Dr. Maggie. But yeah, I got to see Shelly. So let me at this point, let me just go into my notes. All right, so wrap up Saturday. So I did go to dinner on Saturday night, got to really enjoy that. And then after went to it was like a meet and greet, not a meet and greet, that's not the words, a meetup for the podcast True Crime All the Time / True Crime All the Time Unsolved / Criminology, which I've been a fan of those podcasts forever. They're like OGs, and they do a meetup every year. And I was not able to go to the one last year in Denver because I got super sick that night. But I know they were doing it this year. I was in between dinner with a friend and then meeting up with a lot of my podcast girlfriends for karaoke. So I was like, let me pop into the True Crime All the Time meetup. So I popped in there. I was like, I'm just quick saying hello. And I think I was there for maybe 15, 20 minutes. I can't remember, but got to chat with Mike, chat with Gibby, Gibby's girlfriend. Oh my God, I love Gibby's girlfriend. Like Love her. Love her. Anybody who goes to CrimeCon and gets to meet her, like, I absolutely adore her. And I was telling her this year that like getting able to see her again was like, I was looking forward to that. I'm like, yeah, Mike and Gibby, okay. But you're amazing. So yeah, I'm a girl's girl. So loved her. In regards to then meeting up with friends for karaoke. So I knew a karaoke place to stop in because when I was roaming the strip till 3 a.m., what was it, 2 nights before, there was a place, where was it near? Oh gosh, I can't think of it. It was before, or was it after Paris? See, I can't even remember. But I literally was walking. I was like, oh, there's the word cat on the building. I have to pop in. So it was the Smelly Cat, I think, lounge and karaoke bar, whatever it was. So I popped in there on my walk and was just like checking out. I'm like, oh, okay, it's a bit of a dive bar kind of type of karaoke scene. I'm like, right, good to know. So then flash forward 2 nights later when my friend's like, oh, we want to go do karaoke. I'm like, oh my God, I know the place that we should go. So they were already there by the time I finished up dinner, and then popped into the True Crime All the Time kind of meetup. And then met up with some of the girls for karaoke. I did not do karaoke. Not my thing. I did it once on a Boston to Bermuda cruise when I was 18. And I will never do it again. But my friends did. And when I was walking like to get into the building, they were just finishing their song. So they were like, you missed it. I'm like, no, I could hear it walking all the way down. I could hear you guys. And then I got to see like a split second of the tail end, and that was a lot of fun. Yeah, and we hung out there for several hours, and then that was that night. Wait, no, I lied. Back up. At one point I was like, okay, I'm tired. I'm going to leave. I'm going to go to bed. And then I left. And then I walked a little bit because I was just like, no, I think I wanted like a gelato or something. Because like a lot of my friends got the night before. And I was like, no, I don't want it. I'm fine. I was like, it was like halfway back to Caesars. I was like, And then like, was it Rachel was just like, text me when you get back so I know you made it back safe. Thank you, Mother Rachel, who if I recall, was one of the ones that was very unhappy with me for walking the streets alone and not telling anyone. So I texted her. I was just like, I'm making a detour, but I will be going back. So that was that. That was my Saturday night. And each day I was at Caesars, I made sure I did play Kitty Glitter just a little bit each day so that I can say I gambled each day. I sat down on a specific slot machine, and that was my fun. So before I get into the last day, Sunday, I do want to give a shout out because most of my friends, again, that I got to kind of see on Friday, and we did the sparkle dinner. And then I got to the ones that like I wasn't able to kind of connect with on Friday because it's just opening day at CrimeCon. Things are busy. Like Saturday leaves so much time for everything. So I wanted to just give like a quick shout out to like, all my podcast friends that I was able to connect with, other content creators that I listened to and was able to meet with, and all of that fun stuff. So in no particular order. So shout out to, of course, Anthony DiMaria, who was there with the Genius Publishing booth. Shout out to him. Again, got to spend a lot of time with Anthony, and that honestly was one of my favorite parts of CrimeCon as well, is getting to know him and any help that I could be to him to get Jay's story out. That was very important to me this CrimeCon. So shout out to him. Tiff from True Crime with Tiff Klein, Cheryl McCullum, Zone 7, Dr. Maggie. Love Dr. Maggie. She's been on the show. So, absolutely love her. And I do have my little duck here. She ran out, but I got one. I showed it this past Friday on the True Crime and Chill. So she had these, the lighting isn't quite picking up, but these little ducks with her daughter, Brittany Phillips. So it says cold cases aren't dead cases with a QR code. So yeah, Dr. Maggie is there every year to get answers about what happened to her daughter. Her daughter who was murdered in the case is still unsolved. I know we all love Maggie. Oh my God. Hey, Tony. No, you were good. You were good. Glad you're here. Hope you're doing well, hon. So Dr. Maggie, anybody, and I've said this to her to her face as well, like anybody that I introduce to Maggie, I'm just, I have the utmost love for Maggie. And I'm like, you are one of those people I'm so happy is in my life, but I wish you weren't in my life at the same time because of the circumstances that brings her to these conventions. And yeah, I think we can, there's so many people that are at, CrimeCon and other crime conventions that are there kind of with that purpose, from the victim purpose, that I've gotten to know and gotten to meet through each CrimeCon. And they're just absolutely amazing people. And it's one of those, like, so honored to get to know you. And, for some of them even get to call them a friend, but I wish I didn't have to know them, type of thing. So again, back to people that from that weekend. Yes, again, Dr. Maggie, Kylie from Primetime Crime, who is holding it down in the chat. Jules from Missing in Hushtown, Fire Eyes Media LLC. And I'm actually wearing my sparkle earrings that I got from Jules from last year's CrimeCon. These are like one of my favorite earrings. They're so sparkly and I absolutely love it. Oh, and before I forget, I'm wearing one of the CrimeCon shirts that I got this year, CrimeCon Las Vegas. So Rachel and Heather from Like Mother Like Murder as well. They were in the chat here. So Gina and Amber and their spouses from Weird True Crime. Stephanie from Wicked Ever After. Esther and Lorena from Once Upon a Crime podcast. I've been such a fan of that podcast again, they're an OG one. I've been listening to them for years. And I was talking with Lorena, I think it was on Sunday at CrimeCon. And I was just saying, I'm like, yeah, I've been listening to you guys since like the beginning. Like I'm an OG fan, and like to be able to like then get to know them. And then like Lorena was just like, and now we're friends. Like, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, you're right. Like, it's just like, wow. Like, it's just an honor because they, again, an amazing podcast, a very ethical podcast. I mean, all of these people are that I'm discussing, I wouldn't be shouting out podcasts that like don't do what the right thing is. But yeah, that was just very cool where it was like, yeah, now we're friends. Like, oh, thanks. We'll get into my t-shirts. Yeah, I got a lot of shirts, And I got my books. So we still got to do that too. Matt Murphy, again, I only saw him once, and that was at the CrimeCon 90s kickoff party, but I got to say hello to him and get a photo with him. And then my girl Kadra from Perplexity podcast. Hope Hooten, I've had Hope on before. And again, she's another one of those people that is there as a victim. She had a booth this year, which I'm like so proud of her for having a booth, and she crushed it. She did amazing with her selling her book at CrimeCon. And she's I've had her on. If you guys missed that interview, go back and check it out. She's one of those people as well where I'm just like, I'm so glad to know you and actually call you a friend, but I wish I didn't have to know you at the same time, type of thing. But absolutely love Hope. And Hope is still doing amazing things out there. Like even as of yesterday, I did share that on Instagram. Go check it out. Like Hope she is really trying. She's been through hell And she is trying to change the world in the best way possible and absolutely doing that. Hey, Paul. Hope you're doing well. Actually, no, I don't mean that. Hi, Paul. And we'll leave it at that. So just kidding. So another victim's family member that I've had on the show that I actually ran into at CrimeCon. So Vanessa, who is Megan Russell's mother, I had Vanessa and her husband on several months ago to talk about, their daughter and then trying to get answers and justice for what happened to Megan. And I did see Vanessa at some points when I was walking around, but she was with other people and I didn't want to interrupt. And at one point I saw her just by herself and I was like, hey, and got to, connect and see her. Again, another amazing, strong woman who's just trying to get answers about what happened to her daughter. And it's just, again, I was so glad to run into her at CrimeCon and be able to see her again, but one of those things where I wish I didn't have to run into you and see you at the same time. So Christine from True Crime with Chris. So not only did she have a booth this year, she did a live show. Like, shout out to my girl. That is amazing. Amazing. Courtney, I mentioned her and her husband earlier, Forensic Tales podcast. She had a booth as well. Amanda from Cold and Untold, so she's in the podcast group chat, but I hadn't met her yet. And I got to meet her in person. I believe it was the first day I saw her. And she's, again, out there doing amazing, amazing things. So it's just like, so many of the women in our group chat that a bunch of them I've met in person at different, conventions. And again, get to know so well that I, get to call them a friend, if you will. And then there's another part where I'm just like, we message all the time in the group chat. And like, I feel like we've been friends forever, but like haven't met in person yet. And then I got to meet a bunch of them in person as well. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, it's like the second you meet where it's just like, yeah, it feels like we've been friends already for 20 years. And like, you're my long lost sister type of vibes. So one of them, Holly from Crime with Holly podcast. Let's see. I don't want to, Sierra from Unsolved Couples podcast. Oh my God. Like, I feel like she's been one of those girls in the group chat where I'm just like, constantly like, yes, girl. And then like meet her in person. And I'm just like, I feel like we've been best friends for 50 years, like, and just like immediately love right away. And yeah, there's like, I get that experience with like all of these women, like meeting them when I do. It's just like some in particular, it's just like, oh my God, I haven't met you, but we've been messaging for months type of thing. Yeah, Sierra is like amazing. And I got to spend a bit of time with her kind of before like CrimeCon like really kicked off, because I ran into her when I was first like met her in the lobby. I was going down for something and I ran into, Jules, Steph, and Rachel. Yeah, and then Sierra was there and I was just like, oh my God, finally get to meet you in person. And like, so yeah, it was really cool to chat with her and love her. I love all the girls. Let's see. I don't want to miss my place. So Alicia with Truly Twisted podcast. She's another one as well, where it's just like, okay, love her podcast, love her vibes, love her energy. And like, yeah, there's just like some girl, like, yeah, where you just feel like you've met and you're like, no, we've been friends. We what do you mean we haven't been friends for the past like 25 years? It feels like it, right? Type of thing. Well, hello, Beckham. The self-proclaimed king of CrimeCon is fashionably late at over an hour. That's all right. Hope you're doing well, Beckham. I did mention you earlier in one of the panels I went to that I thought you'd be interested in. Look at Beckham coming in hot. CrimeCon was a blast for those attended. Shelly and her daughter had an amazing time. Yeah, that's what you had mentioned, and I mentioned that earlier. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Crystal Gutierrez from the Beyond the Case podcast, and then also the woman behind Beyond the Crime. So Crystal was there. So I got to see her. At one point I was walking around and I saw her and kind of chatted with her and loved seeing her. I mean, she does amazing work as well. Got to, right? That's exactly what it is. Like, that's exactly what it feels like. All right, well, if I'm going to time you out if you keep making statements like that, I'm just saying. So I have a little bit of one of my shout outs has a star next to it. Jesse Weber. Does anything more need to be said? Y'all, he commented on the photo I tagged him in on Instagram. I was like, oh my God, Jesse Weber. We'll get to that. When I show photos later, we'll get to that. I was just like, oh, he acknowledged me. Jesse Weber acknowledged me. But he recognized me. Each day, like, he recognized me. I was like, oh my God, my heart. Be still my heart. Anyway, so shout out again, more from Criminology Podcast. Absolute huge fan forever of that podcast. So I got to see him, which I'm excited to see every year. Ran into, oh my God, like, I love these guys, Chris, Matt, and Andrew from the Somebody Knows Something podcast. I met them last year or was it the year before? Like, oh my God, no, it was last year. Yes, last year. In Danvers at the True Crime Podcast Festival. They were there, and oh my gosh, I love those guys. They are doing amazing, amazing work in Chicago. And yeah, it was just so cool. Like, I just round a corner and there they are. And yeah, oh my, I just can't say enough good things about them. And it's like them and like a lot of my podcast girlfriends who were at that same convention. It's like we like see each other and it's all like a mini reunion, and it's just amazing. But it's really cool that they were there. So I got to see them. The crew from Surely You Can't Be Serious podcast. So they were next to me at the Beyond the Crime convention. And yeah, they were talking about having a booth at CrimeCon. And when you walked in, depending on where you walked in, they were like one of the first few booths. So they had an amazing, amazing spot. So each time I walked by, I was just like, hey. But it was really cool to see them. Julie Mattson from the Pushing Up Lilies podcast. I only got a chance to chat with her for like a couple of minutes. Every time I walked by her booth, there were so many people there to chat with her and her husband, which that's the point of CrimeCon. That's amazing. But yeah, she was crushing it, absolutely crushing it. So I wish I got a chance to chat with her more, but at the same, like, she was doing her thing in the best way. So that was cool because, yeah, a lot of these podcasters I got to see at Beyond the Crime just this past April. So to kind of see a bunch of them again so quickly, it's just like, oh, we're friends getting back together. I want to make sure, hopefully y'all can make it out to Boston in October. Yes. Thank you, Beckham. Shout out to Body Bags with Joe Scott Morgan. Dave Mack is co-host on that. And then Joe Scott's wife, Kimmy. Like, Kimmy's an amazing woman. I love Kimmy. She's so sweet. I look forward to seeing her every year at CrimeCon. She gives me the biggest hug. She gives everybody the biggest hug, but like, I love her. I absolutely love her. And at one point I stopped her and Joe Scott. They were walking somewhere. And I don't know if he right away was just like, no, Joe Scott, I'm not here to get a photo with you. I'm here to get a photo with Kimmy. Like, I love Kimmy. So no disrespect to you, but love your wife. So I got to, chat with her, and I got to chat a bit with Joe Scott, which is like, I mean, oh my gosh. I'm, again, big fan of his podcast, have been for years. And he's just such a giving guy, and kind of, again, he's a professor and teaches Jack State University. And like the eternal, like wanting to be a forever student in me is just like, I'm so jealous of all of your students that get to learn and absorb everything that you teach them. So yeah, chatted with him a bit about that. And of course, co-host on there, Dave Mack. Absolutely love Dave Mack. I had him on here for a 2-part interview. If you guys missed that, please go back and check that out. And Dave Mack is somebody that like, I look forward to seeing every CrimeCon. And he's also someone that I can honestly say that, he's become a good friend of mine, like outside of content creating has become a really good friend. So I was really looking forward to seeing him. Just catching up with him. And I will say Dave Mack, winner of the weekend, gave me the best compliment. We were chatting about something in particular. And he referenced something with age. And I was just like being like 27 or late 20s. So I was like, oh, well, I'm past that. And he's just like, wait, what? And I was like, yeah, no, I'm 41. And he's like, I thought you were like 27, like late 20. I was like, oh, Dave Mack. Like flattery will get you everywhere. But yeah, he was shocked. He's like, no way. I'm like, yeah, I'm a lot older than you think, but thank you. So yeah, he made my weekend. Absolutely made my weekend. Again, flattery will get you everywhere. But yeah, Dave Mack's awesome. Love him. Just remember, Danny, we all your closest buds. No, I know you, Tony Stewart. Don't you worry, hun. Y'all my crew. We're here. I got you. Salem in October. You say cool as a tourist, and that's fair. Me, like from the area, it's just like, oh my God, you tourists start coming in June and it like backs up traffic every single day. But from a tourist perspective, yes, very cool. Very cool. Let's see, a few more shout outs. I want to make sure I don't forget. True Crime Garage, love Nick and the captain. Got to speak with them quite a bit. It was really funny. And I made sure to like go back to their booth the following day to like be like, I'm sorry if I came across as a total creep. And Nick thought I was calling him a creep. So let me set the stage, right? I was on the escalator. Okay, I should have done this earlier. Let me break down, because this goes to part of the story. Let me break down the way the venue was set up. CrimeCon. I'm just shaking my head. I was once told, if you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. I'm really struggling. The layout was not good. It was not good. I will say a lot of people felt that way and took to social media to say so. It was hard to know where things were. And anytime, and I will speak from personal experience, that if I went up to one of the, the volunteers that had the yellow shirts with their sign saying, ask me if you have any questions. I'm like, hey, I'm trying to find this panel, or where is this? And every single time they're like, I don't know. I'm like, wait, what? And then they pull out a map, and I'm like, well, no, I have that same map. It doesn't make sense. And where you're pointing, it's not there. And that happened time and time and time again. And I have friends that experienced that same thing. And from what I saw on posts, a lot of people felt that way. Again, you can't change a venue. It was just the way it was what they booked. I just felt the way they picked where locations were, it didn't make the most sense. And it was actually kind of confusing. One of the things what was frustrating, I'll word it that way, was to get to creator row, or, the podcast row, vendor row. You had to go up several stairs and then go down an escalator. And the bookstore was next to it, but it was out of the way. Typically, every CrimeCon I've been to, it's usually, if it's not all on one floor or it's like in a middle area, so that if you're in a panel and the panel gets out, maybe you have 10 minutes to spare before the next one, that's when you'll see a big flood of people just go into, where the podcasters are, vendors are, so on and so forth, where the bookstore is, because you have 10, 15 minutes to, kind of take up time and you need something to do. So it's an easy kind of spillover. That couldn't really happen this year because to get to where the podcasters and vendors were, it was out of the way. So there wasn't that overflow of people all the time. You had to make a point to say, okay, I'm going to go all this way to go to the bookstore or to go to where the podcasters and vendors are. So it made it kind of tough if also, you're having great time, you're chatting with different content creators and you're like, oh, there's a panel that's usually, it's like, okay, the panel starts in 1 or 2 minutes. It's literally right next door. I can pop over. Not this year, because it took several minutes to get to where you needed. So it was not the best setup. Yeah, it was kind of disappointing. So to lead that into my story of Nick and the captain from True Crime Garage. So one of the, I think it was Saturday, because I wasn't able to make it to their booth. They always had a long line of people, which they always do, because again, they're an OG podcast. They're a really popular podcast. They are crushing it. So like a lot of people want to meet Nick and the captain. So anytime I walk by, I'm like, oh my God, long line. It's fine. I'll see them another time. And I was going up the escalator on Saturday at some point, and there was like 2 escalators going up at the same time, side by side. And I look, and Nick from True Crime Garage is right there. And I'm just like, hey, how you doing? And I was like, I have wanted to talk to you all weekend. Like, I'm just me. It is what it is. So we chatted a bit, and I was like, yeah, I'll definitely stop by, if not later today, tomorrow, looking forward to kind of officially seeing you. I love seeing you guys every year at CrimeCon together. So after, I was like, that was creepy, because he's just there like on his phone. I'm like, hey. So then the next day I go and I talk to him and talk to the captain. I was like, I am so sorry if I came off like super creepy. And I think it was just loud, or maybe the way I worded it, he thought I was calling him creepy, and he was like apologizing. I'm like, no, I was creepy. Just like, hey, look at, like, it was just so funny. It was so funny, but he thought I was calling him creepy. But what a nice guy. And he's like apologizing. And I'm like, no, you did nothing wrong. Like, it was really funny. Then I got to chat with the captain for quite a bit. And he's just, absolutely love him as well. Talked to Nick about his book, because I read the book, talked about the book on this channel, about the Delphi case. Right? They're so awesome. They're so awesome. Yeah. And what I noticed, kind of quickly jumping back to the layout, is, so there's a CrimeCon unofficial Facebook group, and like a lot of people will post things like all year round. But if it's like, hey, I haven't been before, what can I expect? Or hey, is there any other hotels in the area? Like anything CrimeCon, like people will just post. It's an unofficial group, so it's pretty lax. However, y'all, this year when people were taken to that group to like write about the layout and their or displeasure with anything that was happening this year, it was crazy. And a lot of those posts got deleted. A lot of those threads got deleted. It was kind of like, I am very like, I'm never involved in drama. Like, I hate it. Like, there's no point to it. But like, I'm not going to lie. Sometimes you sit back and you see like a train wreck and you're just like, let me get my popcorn and watch it unfold. That's kind of what it was like with that group, with the CrimeCon unofficial group, when people, it's like one person started it and it went crazy. Sorry, my street's loud right now. Yeah, it was like, wow, did you see those posts and then they were like gone. The drama in that, right? It was wild. It's no longer there. So unless people screenshotted it, it's gone. But yeah, people were, yeah. They made a video for my friend Natasha. She's an OG. Oh, that's so cool. Oh my God. That's awesome. Oh, gotcha. Oh, Kylie, I didn't know you were a Reddit scroller. I think I'm the only person ever that just like, I'm not a Reddit person. I don't know. I know everybody else is. I'm just not. I screenshot everything. Look at Rachel coming in just to make her presence known. Like, yeah, I got it. I got it. Drama sucks. Just walk away. Yeah, Tony. No, I'm never involved in it. Like, if people try to get me involved in it, not going to happen. Not going to happen. But like to sit back and sometimes watch things unfold, it's just like, wow, sure, why not? And that was one of those things. Again, it wasn't going to affect me. It was an easy thing, but it was crazy. I texted you a photo. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, my gosh. I know, poor Nick from True Crime Watch. Yeah, after that, Danny from Danny After Dark totally like creeped me out on the escalator. I had to take the stairs the whole time. Funny. All right, let me bounce back. And then, okay, I want to make sure I don't miss anybody in my shout outs. Ryan from Investigate for Tate. So I had a really nice long conversation with him at CrimeCon this year. I saw him last year at CrimeCon, but I wasn't able to leave my booth at the times I saw him walking around. But I was like, oh, I want to connect with them. Wasn't able to last year. So when I saw him walking around at this year's CrimeCon, and he knew a lot of my podcast girlfriends, I made sure to introduce myself and just have a really nice chat with him. And he's, oh my God, such an amazing person. And he had a booth this year as well. So anytime I walked by, though, he wasn't there. So I was able, luckily, to connect with him at some point when I saw him walking around. 100%. So yeah, I really enjoy talking with him, and he's just, oh my God, such an amazing, kind soul. Absolutely. Yeah. Justice for Tate. And if any of you are not familiar with that, check it out. Check out his story. It's just, it's heartbreaking, like absolutely heartbreaking. But I was really, meeting him this year as well was one of those things I was really excited to do this year at CrimeCon, just to get to talk with him a little bit. Brian N. So I, at one point, just like saw him walking around and was like, oh shit. For those who don't know, I mean, we could go on and on about like his credentials and what he's known for. I think most recently everybody talks about him in regards to him being like boots on the ground there for the Nancy Guthrie abduction. Yes. Ryan Laurel. Thank you, Rachel, for posting that. Absolutely. And he posts a lot on Instagram as well. So that's where, when I saw him at CrimeCon last year and wasn't able to connect with him, I started following him right away on Instagram after. So I've been kind of following a lot of what he's posting about his story and yeah, what he's trying to get out there. But thank you for sharing that, Rachel. Let's see. So FBI, so Scott Duffy. So he is usually a speaker every year at CrimeCon, and I've connected with him. I feel like every year I get to like just kind of see him walking around and chat with him. And I've been saying to him, like, I've been meaning to get you on my show for so long. Like, life gets busy, but we were just chatting for a bit. But I always really enjoy seeing him every year at CrimeCon. And he's like such an amazingly nice man. So I look forward to seeing him every year. And yeah, look forward to having him on the show sometime soon. Once life gets a little less crazy, which should hopefully be soon. Then Vinnie Politan. Vinnie is everywhere at all times at CrimeCon. You know who does CrimeCon better than Kylie? It's Vinnie Politan. I don't know which one of the two of them is in more places at the exact same time at all times at CrimeCon. I honestly think they'd be like neck and neck. But yeah, Vinny, every time I see him, I was just like, I saw you outside courthouse for Karen Reed. Yeah. And I was there. But yeah, love Vinny. Like everybody loves Vinny. And anytime there's a line to meet him, it's always super, super long. But he also just casually walks around. So you're able to like connect with. Of course, of course. To learn more about how Kylie does it all, tune into her episode that launches tonight on Primetime Crime. Hire me. That was so good, Kylie. That was so good. Vinny's so good. Yeah, he's awesome. And he's super, super friendly to chat with. Okay. I think I got that. Another thing that, and I do have some photos, and I did not post it on my accounts. So you guys will get to see this for the first time. And I purposely did that strategically because we are a pet-friendly community. There were so many amazing dogs at CrimeCon, like including like the little baby puppies. Like, oh my gosh. And if you're thinking, why were they at CrimeCon? Because they do amazing things in there was like a whole booth of them in regards to being there to attend for court, canine dogs, little dogs that will be trained for, search and rescue, all of that. And then there were some guests that just brought their whether it's emotional support dogs or whatnot, but there were so many dogs. And as a pet person, love it. Love it. Thank you. I try. Let's see. And then another shout out to all of the amazing authors and just people that I got to meet with at the Genius Publishing book table. So that I mentioned earlier was where my friend Anthony DiMaria was for his book, JC Bring Cutting to the Truth. And so since I would kind of like I hate to say very frequently, but like that might be the right terminology. Like just walking around because I feel like that's all you do at CrimeCon. But like I'd walk by and kind of check in and chat with them. I mean, all amazing guys. And I got to chat with them and they were just so cool, like absolutely so cool. And two of them, I did get their books. I will go over that in a moment. But yeah, that whole table, like all just kind, amazing people who like do great work and writing books, getting it out there. So yeah, shout out to everybody at the Genius Publishing booth this year. All amazing. And shout out to them for also letting me sit there quite a bit because again, walking nonstop, I'd be like, oh my God, I just need to sit for like 5 minutes. And they were so kind to let me do that. And they let me put out some stickers. They let me put out some Danny After Dark stickers, which was like so nice of them. So yes. What is this, James Watson? Cats can be trained for search and rescue. They just don't want to. Fair. Completely accurate and fair. So wrapping things up, and then I'll get to the pictures portion. So Sunday was the last day of CrimeCon. Started, was it 9 a.m. or 10 a.m.? I think one of the two. I can't remember. But it ends early that day at like, I want to say 2 or 3 o'clock, I believe. So I spent most of that day, little bit of time going through Creator and Podcast Row, but there were 2 panels I sat in on, and that's mostly what I did on Sunday. And it was a back-to-back part 1 and part 2 about the Las Vegas shooter. I will not name him because no, not doing it. He doesn't need it. Doesn't deserve it. That panel, part 1 and part 2, so there was like 3 to 4 of the different law enforcement officers in different capacities that worked that case. It was so excellently done. Very, it was incredible the way they were able to like kind of recreate and show like in regards to the, I hate to say the square footage because I don't think that's the right word, but the range that the shooter had in just and you could see and follow things on the map, because when the shooting happened, people just ran everywhere, and the whole strip shut down, and we got to hear different 911 calls where people were calling from different hotels saying, hey, there's a shooting here, because people were running in and trickling it from everywhere. But to kind of hear that and see a lot of the the maps of where everything was happening, it was just so wow, so well detailed. I heard that said. It was really good, Kylie. Part 1 and part 2, both of them. They showed a lot of amazing videos as well as pictures of what happened when they got to that floor of Mandalay, and then how they were able to gain entry into the room and how they had to safely do so, and they walked the audience through everything. There was one thing in particular that I was shocked by, in that I think would fit well with what you're saying, Rachel. So one of the things that I literally saw for my own eyes, when a certain slide was shown, I heard the gasps, and I saw the people turning and looking at if they were with their friends, oh my God, is this on the screen right now? And what I'm referring to is there was a certain slide so there were slides that showed once they gained entry into the rooms where the shooter was shooting from. So you got to see, pictures of the different weapons. I will not name the shooter. Again, of different weapons and where they had things laid out, all of that. But in one of the photos was the shooter. It was very graphic, and it was not blurred, and he was on the ground. He was deceased. I won't get into detail. If you remember how he died, self-inflicted, if you remember how he died, the photo showed everything. And it was just up there. And when they were going through their slideshow, they were clicking, and I think they went to that slide before they meant to, and then they jumped back, and again, you could hear the gasps and the oh my God. And then when they got to that slide, I was I'm shocked they're showing that. I was shocked that they showed it. And I forget which person in the panel, that worked the scene, had said that's the best slide. And they did not mean it in a disrespectful way. I think what they meant was for all the carnage that he did, look at him. Again, it was not meant to be a disrespectful comment. I did not take it in a disrespectful comment. I could see how many others could take it that way. But I was just stunned that was shown. There was no warning. It was just shown. So it was left on the screen for a while. I was shocked. We have an episode with one of my best friends who was there. Rachel, I remember chatting with you about that. I remember we talked about that at CrimeCon. When I mentioned I went to that panel, or was going to that panel, we had that conversation. So yeah, if that is a case that anybody who's watching this wants to know more, go to Mother Like Murder. Again, Heather and Rachel. Yeah, one of Rachel's friends was there and went on their podcast to talk about their experience. And it's oh damn. Yeah. It's again, excellent panel. Shocking that was shown. All I could think of was, I'm not from here, so it doesn't, and let me expand on that. I'm not from here, so I can sympathize, I can have empathy for the community, but I'm not from here, so I can't fully grasp that. where all, and what I mean by that is if there were people in the crowd that, again, they're from Vegas, like this, when it happens in your own backyard, so to speak, it hits a really different type of way. So if there were anybody that attended that panel that's from there, that again, maybe knows someone or was there themselves when that happened, like, I feel like that would be a really hard panel to sit in. And I had a similar kind of type of feeling with that last year at CrimeCon when Dave McNeil did his presentation on the Boston Marathon bombings. And I got to chat with Dave quite a bit there at CrimeCon last year, and we've stayed in touch, in which, I mean, he's absolutely amazing, but he was one of the people that was boots on the ground there for the, the shootout in the boat with Jahar. And again, we were in Denver, Colorado for CrimeCon last year. I'm from Boston, so like the Boston Marathon bombings that's home. That's home. And to be at CrimeCon last year and be in the audience, and like, I was in tears when he was giving his presentation. And again, but I knew like there are other people here that are in this panel and they're not from there. So it just hits differently is what I'm getting at. So all I could imagine, long story short, was being in the panel for the Mandalay Bay shooter. And if somebody, was from Las Vegas or knew someone there or was there themselves, I feel like that would be a really difficult panel to sit in for a lot of reasons. Rachel's saying he became so up to the fact, every video, every article, everything. I'm honestly glad you didn't go to the panel. I think it would be a lot. Yeah, it just hits differently. It really does. And I will say, as much as like there was some of the things that like kind of shocked me, if you will, with that presentation, it was, I could see how some people might be like, oh my gosh, that was a lot in a way, but I don't think that was the intent. But I got a lot out of it. There were a lot of details that I didn't know about that incident, and I did learn from that panel. But yeah, that was mostly Sunday, wrapping up Sunday CrimeCon. I got a bunch of time to kind of chill to myself. So what do you think I did? I walked the strip. So a bunch of my friends, y'all in the chat, went to the, and I'm totally going to mess it up because I didn't go. So if it was like the TV show Friends. It was like an interactive, is it museum? I don't know. But it was like the set where you get to like go and interact and like all that stuff. A bunch of my friends went to that. They had a great time. I saw pictures, Friends experience. Thank you, Kylie. I was never into the show Friends. Have I seen it? Yeah. Here and there, if I'm like at someone's house and if they have it on, but like I never was into it. Didn't hate it. I was just never into it. So like a bunch of them went and I was just like, I'm going to do my own thing. And I did, and I walked around and all that fun stuff. So that was Sunday, kind of like early evening. And then, Sunday night, a group of us. So by that point, some of our podcast group left, to go back home. So some left Sunday. A lot of us, I believe, left Monday. But there was a group of us that went out on Sunday for like a, kind of last get together dinner, at a restaurant, Nacho Daddy, which, yeah, very, very interesting restaurant. I think a bunch of them had went the night before and liked it. So we went there. And again, we got to hang out with Gina and Amber's husbands. Love them both. Like, oh my gosh, got to like talk with each of them at length. And it was like, of course, like, so we were all, so tell us, how did you meet? Blah, blah, blah. Like going like way back. which was just really cool to kind of, chat with them and get to know those guys, which amazing men, absolutely amazing men. And that was Sunday. And then I flew out on Monday. So that was that. So that is my notes. Let me pull up photos. So again, they are in no particular order. Am I going to be able to, do I have to pull it up one at a time? Just realized, see, I knew I was going to forget someone. I knew it. So another person, so my sincere apologies. Oh my God. That I got to connect with, and I actually sat next to her at the Sparkle dinner, and just had like an amazing personal conversation with, Jess Quaz. I just, again, like had like the best conversation with her, and I was able to meet with her in person, and then like each day after I got to see her. But she's in the first photo I brought up, and I'm like, dang it, Danny, I knew you were going to forget someone. So, all right, let me share screen at this point and just show you guys a bunch of photos from my trip. So, so I just threw them in a Google Drive. I'm not going to lie. So you kind of are getting that background, but it is what it is. So this is me, Jess, and Jules. Me and Gina from Weird True Crime at the kickoff party, that 90s kickoff party. Me and Dave Mack from Body Bags with Joe Scott Morgan. Again, these are kind of all over the place, so we're going to go from like day to day. That is me and Paul Holes. Me and Kylie ran into him at the 90s kickoff party. And I'd said to him, I was just like, I can't believe I met him. Okay. I met him at CrimeCon last year in Denver, but it was real quick. It was like seconds, and I got a photo with him, and that was it. This time we actually got to like chat a little bit. And then of course we ran into him at the bar, at like the hotel bar the following night when we were just after the Sparkle dinner, we were just walking through the hotel, and we're just like, oh my God, there's Paul Holes. But I was just like, I feel so weird meeting you and I'm dressed like this, but like, it is what it is. That is, okay, Sandlot. Y'all might see this and be like, I know exactly what they're doing. I don't. So yeah, Amber, Heather, Sierra, Jules, Heather, and Kylie. And then there's me in the middle, just like going rogue, doing my own thing. Me and Julie Matson from Pushing Up Lilies. Sparkle dinner. This was when a bunch of us went, when we left after and went to the Vanderpump restaurant that I mentioned. So this was one of Alicia's photos that she took of us there. So the lighting was really, really dim. So like this is the best it could get, but it was really cool. Again, if you watch Vanderpump or Real Housewives Beverly Hills, then you know. Me and Alicia and Kadra. Lorena and Esther from the Once Upon a Crime podcast. So this was several of us before we went out to our Sparkle dinner. Yeah, it was just so funny because like I'm like, I don't dress like that very often, but like it's Vegas and like, yeah, y'all know, like I'm a t-shirt comfortable girl. But it was so nice for us all to like, we all looked so freaking good, if I dare say so myself. With Shirley, You Can't Be Serious podcast. Love her. Love my girl. Which was this was at the karaoke at the Smelly Cat Karaoke Bar and Lounge. If you notice Rachel in the back giving the peace sign, can't quite see it on the screen here, but she is wearing her Crime Story Fest t-shirt because yes, she will be at Crime Story Fest. So Rachel, Gina, Heather, and Stephanie. Jesse Weber. Be Still My Heart, Jesse Weber. Love Jesse Weber. That is the guy that Beckham just... Beckham can't handle it. Beckham can't handle it. Beckham's a hater. A total hater of Jesse Weber. And I don't know why Jesse's like so... I mean, look at him. That's me and Joe Scott, Body Bags with Joe Scott Morgan. So Christina Gibby's girlfriend from Gibby from True Crime All the Time and then True Crime All the Time Unsolved. I love her. I love her. So the lighting was horrible. This was at the True Crime All the Time meetup that I popped in and stayed for a little bit and then went off to meet my girls for karaoke. But yeah, I chatted with her like the whole time. I think I said a couple of words to Mike and Gibby and then like just chatted with her like the rest of the time. Me and Kadra and Alicia at the karaoke bar. So I mentioned earlier there was that like 90s, at the 90s kickoff party, there was like a whole photo section. So that's me and Kylie. Again, this is considered vintage now, but like, yeah. And there was so much more to this room that's just like not captured in the photo. But like all the pictures on the wall and like, I'm like, oh yeah, Destiny's Child and Sync, like Backstreet Boys, Britney Spears, like all of this. I'm like, I think I owned all of this stuff. It's crazy. Yes, I have a picture with him. You'll see it. The lighting isn't good. Thank you, Tony Stewart. Because it was at the kickoff party I ran into. Or was it out? No, I lied. It was outside the kickoff party. All right, let's carry on. Christine from True Crime with Chris. Like, my girl knows how to rock a pink suit. Like, I can't get over it. I can't get over it. Like, fucking amazing. Amazing. This was Sunday night at the Nacho Daddy bar. Who was there? This was Jules's photo. I stole it. So Jules, Stephanie, Kylie, and Amber. Yeah. Me and Jules. So we will be like co-hosts for the Beyond the Crime convention in October. So yeah, like, I mean, yeah, how amazing do we look? I'm totally humble. But yeah, no, very excited to do that with her in October. This is when what was this? Thursday? Yeah, Thursday before like the rest of our crew came in. This was that area I talked about where like by the Link Hotel. So that's Jules, Rachel, Stephanie, and Jules is wearing her Crime Story Fest shirt. So yeah, we total representing. Yeah, I have different photos, like different angles from the kickoff party. I love how I'm just going rogue. I think some of them are, all right, another angle. All right, some of them are similar, so my apologies. This was just me and in the 90s bedroom there. Where was this? I think this is us outside of the Vanderpump restaurant after the Sparkle dinner. So me, Jules, Alicia, Kadra, and Sierra. Me and Kylie at CrimeCon. And look at Kylie representing her True Crime Podcaster shirt. Y'all know, and I've said it before, when Kylie did an interview here, so if you guys missed it, go back and watch it. Kylie, when I met her last year at CrimeCon Denver, like she was like, I left and I was just like, she's like one of my favorite people ever. Like when I met her, I was just like, I love Kylie. Like team Kylie, ride or die. So yeah, absolutely love Kylie. Yeah, and if there's anybody that knows how to do CrimeCon, it's her. So yeah, gotta learn a thing or two, right? Me and Alicia at our outside of our Sparkle dinner. Me and Jesse Weber. Every damn day I was like, Jesse, photo. Matt Johnson, So I've met him several times, not just at CrimeCon, but also he was here quite a bit covering the Karen Reed trial. So I got to see him. Your smile's so cute. Stop. A true honor. Heather and I always say, on God and Kylie. Oh my God, I love that. I love that, Rachel. Me and Kylie at the kickoff party. The lighting was not good. It was not good. So like, I mean, like, did it create a certain vibe? Like, yeah, but like if you were trying to get photos, like the lighting was not good. And damn. Yeah, I think I already showed that. So this was the 3 Epstein victims that I mentioned. They did a panel. I saw them like just literally walking in the hallway at one of the, I think it was like the same day they did their panel. I was just like, hi. And I introduced myself and I was just like, I went to your panel earlier today. Like, you guys are amazing, amazing. And yeah, I forget which one was just like went to give me a hug and I was like, can I hug all of you? Oh my God, they were so nice, so sweet. So yeah, I got a photo with them, but they were amazing, so nice. Group photo, and this I stole from Rachel. Rachel, this is like one of the best photos you took of all of us, outside of all of us girls outside of our Sparkle dinner. Gina's husband was there. I felt he should have been in the photo too, and he wore sparkles too. Hashtag team player, but he was not in the photo. This was when me and the girls were on our way to the kickoff party. We ran into Dr. Maggie. So of course we had to stop and chat with Dr. Maggie. We all love Maggie. Like, I cannot say enough good things about her. Absolutely love her. Eva LaRue. So I mentioned I did the meet and greet, and I specifically, like, I got to meet all of the women, but I was just like, I really wanted to meet her. So I was like, can I get a quick photo with just you? And she did. Like, love her. And she looks exactly the same. I was a kid watching All My Children. Yes, my parents let me watch soap operas at like just a few years old. Normal, right? But anyway, she looks exactly the same. Like, what the hell? Good on her. I loved her. I think she gave me like several hugs. So sweet. So sweet. Yes. Me and Lorena. Again, Lorena from the Once Upon a Crime podcast. Shelly, when I ran into Shelly, we got a photo. I think this was this us by Dr. Maggie's booth? I think it was. Few of us, again, I stole this from Rachel. After our Sparkle dinner, so that's me, Rachel, Heather, and Sierra. I don't know why some of these are showing twice. I promise, partly, I don't think I put them in twice. Amber from Weird True Crime Podcast, who like is the epitome of Salem, Massachusetts. And the fact that she wore her Salem, Massachusetts sweater, I was just like, oh my God, I'm home. I'm home. So yeah, so got to meet her last year at True Crime Podcast Festival. And yeah, so excited to see her again. I just saw her in April at Beyond the Crime too, but Mike and Gibby from True Crime All the Time / True Crime All the Time Unsolved. So they are OGs and I absolutely love them. They have, fun fact, they have like listener voicemails that they do at the end of every episode. And it's like a number you can call in and leave a message and they'll play it. So fun fact, years ago, years before I ever did YouTube, I called in one episode and left a voicemail. Like, I forget what it's way back. And it was just like, hi, I'm Danielle from Boston. And like, I love your show. And then there's this whole like, back then it was like, are you team, like, so it's Gibby and for Matt Ferguson. So, yeah, it's like, which team are you? And I was just like, I am team, I love you both, but I am team Gibby. Whatever I said, it was just like, oh my God, why did I do that? And then like years later, a coworker I had at a previous job also listened to this podcast. And she was just like, I think I heard you call in one of the, and I was like, oh my God. Yeah. Yeah. Mike and Gibby. That's Gibby on the right. Like, Gibby gets shit on all the time, but I love them both. They're both good guys. Me and Dr. Maggie. She, oh my God, when I posted all my photos, she was just like, I need to hire you as my photographer. Like, you capture everything. I'm like, Maggie, I'm on it. Like, I will capture every moment of you at your conventions. Yes. But again, not forgetting while she's there, for her daughter, Brittany Phillips. So you can kind of see a lot of the stuff in the background, but love Dr. Maggie. And so Beckham, so what was it? Sunday night at one point, I had a little bit of time. So I chatted with Beckham, gave him a call, kind of filled him in on CrimeCon. And, oh yeah, I just got off the phone with Dr. Maggie. I'm like, wait, what? Yeah, I just talked to Dr. Maggie. Yeah, she's going to come back on the show. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, Beckham, what? Like, Maggie is welcome anytime she wants. So I'm like, Beckham, who the fuck are you to invite people, like, invite people on the show? But of course, it's Dr. Maggie, so anytime. But that's Beckham. That is me and Esther and Lorena, outside of the 90s kickoff party. Again, they are from the Once Upon a Crime podcast. This I stole from Jules. So Jules' photo of, you can see there's quite a bit of us at the podcast dinner. I am down second from the end on the right side of the table, next to Gina's husband. So yeah, you can't, this photo doesn't do justice because you can't see his sparkles, because he had a sparkle shirt on. He sure did. Team player. Another photo of, oh my gosh, guess who? Jesse Weber. So this is us with, so me, Heather, and Jules with the men from the Somebody Knows Something podcast. And I got to meet them, and then their boss as well. I'm totally blanking her name. My sincerest apologies. Totally blanking her name right now. But yeah, they do amazing work with solving unsolved cold cases. Yes, Elgin Police cold case. I'm blanking her name, Rachel. And she is so nice too. I met her here. I don't think I met her before, but of course the guys we met at the Beyond the Crime podcast. But that was just so cool when I went around the corner. I'm like, oh my God, it's my guys. And yeah, it doesn't look like two of them are wearing the same shirt. Sure does. Renee, I did it just for you and just to piss off Beckham with the Jesse Weber. Renee, just hold on. Stay tuned, Renee. You're going to love it. Yeah, I love our crew. Let's see next. So one of the days, so me and Anthony DiMaria. So as y'all know, I can never resist a good selfie. So I stayed at Caesars, right? And there's the kind of there's Caesars Coliseum shopping with like a ton of like high-end stores. So I walked around there quite a bit. Did I go in Christian Louboutin to look at shoes? I sure did. Did I buy any? I sure didn't. But like, I was like, oh my gosh, they look cute. But like, would I rock a heel like that in real life? No. Where? The cat shelter? No. At dance? No. At work? No. They would look cute on, but where would I wear them? Not practical, but cute. Expensive, but cute. But anyway, yeah. So in that area, there's like some really cool like sculptures and stuff. So like I saw one, I was like, oh, good selfie moment. So can't resist. Beth, thank you. Thank you. There should be more photos than this. Why did it stop? Let me see. Let me see. Yeah, why did it? Ugh, stupid. All right, let's carry on. Let's carry on. All right. This is me and Tiff from True Crime with Tiff Klein. So what day was this? Friday? Did I run into her Friday? I think I ran into her. No, I lied. Thursday. So I've had her on. If you guys aren't familiar with her, check out that interview. Go check out her podcast. She is one of those people where it's just like, we've been friends like behind the scenes for quite a bit, but like hadn't met yet in person because like we were both at CrimeCon last year, but like didn't connect till after. So yeah, it was amazing to like finally meet her in person. It's just like friends meeting in real life. Good night, Rachel. Good to see you. I don't do Starbucks no more. I told you we don't do it no more. This is me and Dr. Priya. So yes, oh my God, I love Dr. Priya. Love Dr. Priya. If you want to hear about what she does and her kind of opinions on different cases, she goes, she was on almost every single week, Zone 7 podcast with Cheryl McCollum. Now I think it's just once a month. But oh my gosh, well worth a listen. Wealth of knowledge. So this was Thursday. Me, Stephanie, Rachel, and Jules. We walked by the CrimeCon area. So, okay, CrimeCon, while I have this photo up, so there'll be a booth where it's like you can buy passes for the next year and you can buy them at a discounted cost. So of course people are like, where's CrimeCon 2027? Where's CrimeCon 2027? They had advertisements up that it was in Orlando. They had advertisements up. It was in not Nashville, Chicago. Of course, it's like, CrimeCon, why are you fucking with me? Just tell me where it is. We learned it was Orlando. So it's CrimeCon 2027 Orlando. Did your girl get her pass? Sure did. But yeah, it was just like, okay, everybody's like, it's Orlando. And then there were signs that it was actually Chicago. People were like going crazy. But yeah, that was us the day before walking around it. That I already showed. Kimmy. So this is Joe Scott's wife from Joe Scott, Body Bags with Joe Scott Morgan. I love Kimmy. Sweetest, like sweet. Love her. Can't say enough good things. I think this was when I stopped them and Joe Scott, I think, thought I was going to stop and get a photo with him. I'm like, no, you can keep going. I want Kimmy. Me and Nancy Grace, I just saw her briefly at the kickoff party. So I was like, Kylie, that's Nancy Grace. So we got a quick photo with her. Again, the lighting is not great. So the True Crime Podcast, her shirt that a bunch of us did this year, which we made available for anybody to purchase to be part of our little group. On the back are our logos from all of the girls from our group chat that go to CrimeCon. So this is the silly photo we did. Not everybody is in this photo. We were not able to get everybody, which breaks my heart. Like Kylie is not in this photo, and that breaks my heart. So yeah, big group of us here, just being absolute weirdos, the weirdos that we are, but that's why we love each other. Me and Lorena from Once Upon a Crime. That is me and Mark Garagos. That was before he politely shook my hand and walked away, because I do not think Scott Peterson is innocent. Very pleasant man, though. Very pleasant man. Me and Vinny Paulton. Love him. Me and Crystal from Beyond the Case. Again, she's also the woman behind the Beyond the Crime convention. Me and Stephanie from Wicked Ever After podcast. That's us outside of our Sparkle dinner Friday night. Me and Scott Duffy. Fun story with this. So I was talking with Scott before we photoshopped him. I know you need to Photoshop yourself in that. So I was talking with Scott Duffy, and at one point I hear like a guy behind me be like, "Excuse me," like trying to get by me. I think I was in his way. And I'm thinking like, at first I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And then I realized it's Amber's husband. So I was like, oh, it's just you? Go fuck yourself. And then he started laughing. Scott looked mortified. He looked mortified. And I was just like, oh my God, no, it's okay. I actually know him. But like, it was so fun. It was just one of those like, that was supposed to be funny. And for me and Amber's husband, it was, but like Scott looked absolutely mortified that I spoke that way to someone because he didn't think I knew him. It was quite funny, but yeah, you had to be there. Me and Christine from Chris on Crime. Again, like if we could all rock a suit the way she does, like, oh my God, amazing. Like amazing. She's more than just her suit. She like is amazing representation of victim focused true crime. And she's just a powerhouse, and she dresses the part like like she's the complete package, and like love her. Like she crushed it this year at CrimeCon. Like I'm so proud of her. Wolf. So this is the photo of me and Matt Murphy outside the 90s kickoff party. I think, again, when I met him outside there, I was just like, I am so sorry that like I met him last year at CrimeCon and chatted with him a bit. And he's so nice, but I'm just like, he's so tall. So I'm like looking at him, I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm dressed like this right now. I have like pigtails in my hair and like lightning bolt earrings. Like I'm just like, oh my God, I feel like a 10-year-old talking to him right now. It's just so funny. Oh God. Another photo of me and Anthony. Me and Rachel. Damn, Rachel left. We look damn good in this photo, I must say. But that's okay. This was at Jules's booth, but Jules was not there. So it is me, Sierra, and Stephanie. Stephanie and Sierra were holding it down. Yeah, just getting all of our podcasts, YouTube word out there. Totally holding it down. Me and Sierra at the kickoff party. Again, Sierra was one of those people where it's just like, oh my God, we message like all the time and we're just meeting in person and like we're already best friends, like type of thing. Love her, absolutely love her. Me with the guys of Generation Y podcast, Justin and Aaron. Aaron has been on the show. I did an interview with him a bit back. So if you missed that, check it out. But like absolutely love them. They are so nice and so cool. And again, OGs in the true crime podcast field, genre, if you will. Another photo of me and Dr. Maggie. Absolutely love Dr. Maggie. Me and Paul Holes, again at the kickoff party. Kylie took this photo and I did my best to lighten it. And it was not a fault of Kylie. It was just like the lighting was so dark in there. But she definitely got a good angle because I was able to brighten it quite a bit where it's like, hey, you can kind of see us now. Yeah, my one complaint, besides them playing non-90s music, but I will not complain too much because, like, yeah, anybody that was with me at that event knows anytime there was a non-90s song, I went off. But the lighting didn't make for good photos. Me and Kadra. Kadra's been on here as well, Perplexity podcast. So, yeah, definitely check her out. All about the angle. I know. Kylie needs to. I am a student willing to learn. I am a student willing to learn. Yeah, I think I got them off like Amazon. It came in like a multi-pack and I was just like, I think green will go. Thank you. I don't know what he looks like. His book is very interesting. His perspective as a prosecutor. Oh my gosh, his book is amazing. Like amazing, amazing. I almost made the pick with him black. Interesting. That's one way to make it look. Yeah, interesting. I didn't even think of that. Kickoff party, Kadra and Alicia. Morph from Criminology. He also has a bunch of other podcasts that he does. I'm totally blanking the names right now. Oh my gosh, I'm subscribed to like 4 of them. They don't drop every week. So that's what, and one's relatively, oh my God, I can like picture the cover right now. I'm totally blanking it. But I discovered more from the Criminology podcast. That's where I first heard of him, and that they do weekly. So I follow all their cases. Brian Etten, again, I just happened to see him walking around. I was just like, oh my God. So I was just like, Beckham will die. Because Beckham talks about Brian all the time. But it's good in relation to the Nancy Guthrie cases. Brian is like there. Another photo of me and Jules outside of our Sparkle dinner. And like, look at the way like the lighting showed down right there. It's like wicked weird, but kind of cool. Me and Heather. Love Heather. Kylie took this amazing photo because, again, all about the angles. The 90s party kickoff sign. Beckham is in the chat. What is he talking about? You won't find the most important person in any of these photos. You, because you weren't at CrimeCon. You really want to go there, hon? You really want to go there? Beckham, just wait for it. Renee, just wait for it. There's something coming. Beckham knows what's coming, but Renee, you don't, and you'll be so excited. Me and Kylie, yes, and then Cold and Untold podcast again. Ooh, what's happening? Yes, so we all ran into each other. I think this is day one of CrimeCon, I want to say. Okay. Another photo of me and Anthony. Another photo of me and Kylie. I can't remember if that's the one I already shown. I know I got one with her like every single day. Us in our group photo where we're being actually serious. Kylie was not here at the moment, which makes me so sad. Okay, me and Holly. Excuse me. Lighting wasn't good in this one. Me and Cheryl McCullum, Mac from Zone 7 Podcast. Nick and the Captain from True Crime Garage. Nick is on the one on the left that I apologized for creeping out on the escalator. It was creepy. I was creepy. Yeah, it was just so funny. Just so funny. That is Ryan for Investigate for Tate. I really, again, enjoyed my conversation I got to have with him. And yeah, I've been following him on Instagram since I saw him last year at CrimeCon. Wasn't able to connect with him. And yeah, absolutely. Yeah, really enjoyed talking with him. Me and Christine and Kylie at the kickoff party. Another one of me and Kylie. Again, every time I saw Kylie, I'm just like, different day, different photo. Oh no. Well, I'll do this one now. Jesse Weber. I was like, Shelly, I need to get a photo of you with him so that I could send it to Beckham. And so I did. And Beckham was not happy. Was not happy. Because Beckham's a hater. Shelly's picture with the hair guy is AI. Yeah, you wish. You wish. Oh my God, Renee, he was so, Beckham's like, what? No, that ain't real. Nope. I'm like, yeah. Oh yeah, it is. Beckham's such a hater. Just to jump back, this is the group photo that I got with all of the women that were on the panel with Eva LaRue. I mentioned them earlier. Again, honored to meet all of them. Like the main one I really wanted to meet was Eva. But they were all so lovely, like so lovely, like all amazing women. We'll just rub that in for Beckham a little bit longer. There you go. This was inside that Smelly Cat karaoke bar and lounge place that we went to on Sunday night. No, I lied. Saturday night, and that I walked into on Thursday. So I'm like, oh, it has the word cat. Let me go in. You can't see it from this photo, but there's like tons of cat photos on the wall, and then there's a tree with a little cat stuffed animal in it. So I'm like, love the decor. So there were so many dogs. I took photos of the dogs. I did not post it, but yeah, let's show. So I ran into this dog several times during the convention. Like, how freaking adorable is this dog? I am blanking his name, and it's making me so upset. But he is friends with Hufflepuff. Hufflepuff was the dog. Thank you. Yes, I'm blanking his name. And we had such a long chat, and he's a cat guy, and he wore a cat shirt every single day. And so of course I went up to him, I'm just like, hey, I like your shirt. You're into cats, so am I. Oh my God, it's like bugging me that I can't think of his name right now. Thank you. Yes. Oh my God. Yeah, and I had a conversation with him about how he has a catio, and that they his significant other, his wife, are doing another catio, and I'm just like, oh my God, I love that. Send me pictures. Love chatting with him. I had not met him until, let me think what outfit this is. Sunday. I didn't meet him until the last day of CrimeCon, which I'm like so mad at myself because he's, oh my God, I loved chatting with him. What can you do? Another one of the dogs that I got to meet. Oh my God, so cute. I was just like, that dog was so photogenic, and I just said to the owner, I was just like, can I just get on the floor and do a selfie with your dog? And she's like, yeah, sure. So yeah, totally did. This was us girls before the kickoff party inside one of our hotel rooms. I'm so rogue. Like, they all have a theme, and then there's just me that's just like, I don't know what Sandlot is, so I'm just doing my own thing. And then us being total weirdos, because that's what we are at heart. Okay, so I took a screenshot of this because it made my heart so happy. You can't read it. I posted this on my Danny After Dark Instagram, CrimeCon with Jesse Weber, and I tagged him, and he wrote, great seeing you. Oh my God, Jesse. When that notification came in, Jesse Weber commented on your photo. I was like, oh, what? Jesse Weber commented. This is me and Mac, Cheryl McCullum. I ran into her. This was on Wednesday when I got there early. I was just like, Mac, what are you doing here? She was the first one I saw. Yeah, is there any more? Let me see. I think there is more. I think there is. And I still need to go over my books with y'all. Yeah, there's more. I don't know why it's only showing in sex. There's not a ton more. Now I'll show my books and we'll wind it down. So this is me out Rachel took this. I was on a mission because I mentioned I walked by the kitty glitter slot machine at Caesars. And then I couldn't remember where it was because Caesars is massive. And at one point it was just me and Rachel. I'm like, I need to find the kitty glitter slot machine. We need to find the kitty glitter slot machine. And we walked and walked and walked. And we found it. And we found it. Look at me how happy I am in my element. Like, what more could I ask for, right? Different angle of us outside of the CrimeCon sign the day before. So Annie Elise, again, when I walked up the escalator the first day at CrimeCon, like she was just right there. Yes, she has several podcasts. 10 to Life, Seriously with Annie Elise. So yeah, I got a quick photo with her. Another one of me and Dr. Priya. I think this was the first day when I met her. And did the like, oh my God, I'm fangirling over you and I'm so nervous to talk to you type of thing. But she's amazing. And this is her dog. Oh my God, I love her dog. Her dog looks, okay. The dog looks scared of my chest. I don't know. It's just funny the way the dog's eyes are, but I'm just like, oh my God. Your dog looks like it's like staring at my chest like, girl, what? That's just my thought. This is my favorite photo of me and Anthony from CrimeCon. He's extremely photogenic. Yeah, and I love that one. That was the very first day, and I was just like, oh my God, we're meeting in person. Let's get a photo. But yeah, that's my favorite one of me and him from that weekend. And I'm, again, like just so like honored that I got to be able to spend time with him and hang out and yeah, all that fun stuff. Oh, okay. Not smiling. The puppies. I told you guys there were puppies. You could go in and see the puppies that will be trained to assist with law enforcement. And like, oh my God, like puppies are so cute and innocent when they sleep, right? You would never guess they're little terrors in real life. Like, look at that. I'm sorry. Like, my God. I'm a cat. I grew up with dogs. Didn't like cats growing up. And look at me now, crazy cat lady. But, yeah, so cute. So cute. This dog as well. I'm totally blanking this dog's name. I know the owner was giving out cards to like tag, like you could post and tag the dog online. I have the card. I honestly got a stack of stuff from CrimeCon. I still haven't even gone through stuff. I'm just like so behind and busy. But so cute. So cute. Another photo of me and Vinny. Selfie moment out after the Sparkle dinner. You can totally see where part of my arm is tan, like I say tan / sunburned from just walking around. But yeah, I don't get this dressed up very often. So I'm like, oh, capture the moment, right? Me and Sierra, absolutely love Sierra. Like, oh my God, she's not the cutest thing ever. Love her, absolutely love her. Another dog at CrimeCon. This was, I believe, somebody's therapy dog, but such a cute, sweet dog. Cooper. Yeah, this dog had its own car. Yes. Like this dog is leading a better life than most people. What can you do? Is that it? I think that is it for photos. Let me just double check because I don't know why, like after every so often it like stops. I think that's it. Yep, that's it for photos. Okay. All right. So last is the books that I got, and then I'll just do an overall recap and we'll call it a day. No. All right. There we go. Your arm is sunburned from holding it up, taking too many selfies nonstop. I mean, probably. Damn. But I capture every moment, like every moment. So, all right. I only came back with 5 books, which is the least amount I've ever come back from a CrimeCon with. Usually it's like double or triple. But that's okay. That's okay. So I got 3 from the CrimeCon bookstore and then 2 from the Genius Publishing booth where Anthony was with his book, J.C. Bring Cutting to the Truth. So from the bookstore, I'll kind of go in order. So when CrimeCon first started, one of the things I did was I went straight to the kind of bookstore / like their merch store so that I could get what I wanted immediately, because sometimes there are books that they only have a certain amount and they sell out immediately on the first day. And that happened last year with Nicole and Jemmy's book. And I was so bummed I didn't get it there because I could have had her sign it. But I digress. I ended up buying it myself off Amazon, but still. So anyway, and it's funny because for all the time I ran into Paul Holes, I didn't run into him after I purchased the book, except for like when we were at after dinner with our Sparkle dinner and I didn't have my book on me. But anyway, I got this book from Paul Holes, Unmasked, My Life Solving America's Cold Cases. I'm really excited for this book. Like, oh my gosh. Like, my new goal is to get all of Paul Holes' books. Yeah, so stay tuned because y'all know I'll be reading and reviewing those. Second book I got from the CrimeCon bookstore was let me get the glare off it. The Psychopath Whisperer, The Science of Those Without Conscience by Kent Keel. Really excited to read that. Oh, a little bookmark in there. Really excited for that. I had not heard of that book before I saw it at the CrimeCon bookstore, and I was like, that sounds amazing. And then this book. So my friend Mac, Cheryl McCullum, just recently released a book, Swans Don't Swim in a Sewer. And I so impatiently held off getting it off Amazon because I was like, I'm going to be seeing her at CrimeCon and I want her to sign it. And I could have ordered it before and then brought it with me, but I bring so much stuff and then I come back with so much stuff. So I was like, oh, I'd rather just get it there. So, and I knew they were going to be selling it there. So that was that. And I did see her to have her sign it. So she did sign it there. Danny, thank you for being part of my Zone 7. You're part of 7. You're part of the task force now. And then she signed it. Oh, I love Cheryl. I'm so excited to read that book. Tiff from True Crime with Tiff Klein has read it, and yeah, I'm so excited. She would Tiff would post pictures of her like reading the book. I'm just like, oh, stop. But now I have it myself, so I'm so excited. Then the 2 books I got from 2 of the other authors at the Genius Publishing booth where Anthony was. So I got to talk quite a bit with these guys, and they love them. They were so nice, so kind, so friendly. Some of them had multiple books, so I was just like, oh, decisions need to be made. Which book? So start with Stephen. So Stephen Scarborough, the book I picked from him, he had multiple books. I got The Innocence Machine, The Innocence System Gone Haywire. I am so excited to read this. Like, it sounds really, really cool. And he did sign it for me. So yeah, I'm so excited. Like, my book nerd heart right now is so excited for these books. I've had them tucked in a corner where I'm just like, don't read them, don't do anything, talk about them for your CrimeCon review. Last book I got, again, one of the books at the Genius Publishing table was Justin M. Babcock, On Call. Case files from a career in homicide, what every investigator should know. So Justin signed it for me as well. It says, Danny, follow the evidence. Love that. Okay. 2.5 hours. Oh my God. So I just threw a lot at y'all. My pictures from CrimeCon, the books I got. This was one of the t-shirts that I got. I bought a lot of t-shirts. I think I bought like 5 at the CrimeCon bookstore. And then walking the strip in Vegas, I think I bought like 6 to 8 different t-shirts. And I've been to Vegas multiple times. I love t-shirts. Y'all, when I say like I'm a t-shirt whore, everywhere I go, I get t-shirts. And I wear them all the time. So like, yeah, stay tuned. You're going to see a bunch. And of course, like, okay, let me back up too. Different booths sold different shirts. And I bought a lot of them. So you're going to see a lot of shirts, a lot of t-shirts coming up. But yeah, this is probably my favorite CrimeCon one that I bought. So that's why I chose to wear it for tonight's show. But yeah, that is my recap episode of my entire trip to Vegas, as well as most importantly, my CrimeCon recap show. So I hope you guys watching this took something away from it. If you've been to CrimeCon, leave a comment. How did you navigate CrimeCon? Again, with the layout being so tricky this year, but also, what did you take away from CrimeCon? What panels did you go to? What was your highlights? All of the things. Let me know. Leave a comment. If you didn't go to CrimeCon, but you saw this video, I hope you get something out of it. And, maybe you'll go to CrimeCon next year, or maybe you've been, but you weren't able to make this one and you're going to go back to Orlando next year. Like, leave a comment. That's cool. Like, let's chat. CrimeCon, as much as I feel like if you haven't been to CrimeCon, sometimes it gets a bit of a bad rap, because I think people might not really understand the real important things that happen at CrimeCon, the advocacy, the victims' families, wanting to spread the word about their loved one and get answers, and have people talk about it, use their platforms to talk about it. That's been one of having a booth last year at CrimeCon and then taking that away and then going into it this year. Did not have a booth this year, but still going around and talking and making connections, and people saying, hey, can can I talk about, or can you talk about my loved one on your channel? Like, please, like, yes, anything I lend my platform to for your loved one, anything, any little thing I can do. Like, that's the least I can do to help. I'm absolutely down. So yeah, it's been amazing getting to hang out with my podcast girlfriends there, other content creator friends that I had going in, and then making new friends as well. It's just overall an amazing trip in regards to, the having fun, outside of the convention, meeting up with friends and doing all of that, but then also the seriousness of while I'm at the convention, and, why I'm really there and what I'm there to take away and to contribute to the true crime community. So that is that. Thank you, everybody, for joining. That was a long show. Thank you, guys. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. I enjoyed chatting about it with you. So yeah, all these pictures you guys will be able to see over at the Danny After Dark Instagram account. Again, I didn't post the puppy ones yet, so I was like, let me hold off on that and surprise you guys with something. So yeah. Thank you, everybody, for joining. I will see you tomorrow night for the True Crime and Chill. Y'all, we got a lot to talk about. So I will see you then. And remember, everybody, until next time, we don't live in darkness. Darkness lives in us. Bye, everyone.